Hi everybody, it's Thomas here from Thomas Fitzgerald Photography, and today I have a cool kind of Lightroom trick for you. This is a little bit nerdy, but I think you'd actually find it quite useful once you see it in action. So what is it? Well, basically we're going to use the color grading tool as kind of a little hack. But let me just show you what I mean. So if you use presets a lot, or even if you make your own kind of film looks, what you might often see is you will end up with like this kind of curve where they have brought they may have brought the blacks up a little bit and kind of the whites down. So for example, the new cinematic presets come with the latest version of Lightroom, and Camera Raw include some presets like this, for example, and you can see we have this kind of tone curve, and again the white point has been brought down and the black point has been brought up. And what problem you can end up with this is that your kind of blacks become grey and your whites become a bit grey. And if you want to fix this without adjusting the tone curve, you can't really do it, or at least you couldn't really do it, because if I try to adjust, say, the whites and the blacks here, if I bring the blacks down, you see, if you look at the histogram, you see it's kind of hitting this wall here, and that's because the curve comes after the basic exposure adjustments, because basically Lightroom evaluates from the top down, so you can never kind of fix this using these controls. The only way to do it until recently was to basically bring the tone curve back down, but you may not want to adjust the tone curve. So what you really need is kind of like a levels adjustment after the curves. It's where you could just kind of drag this point and drag this point and kind of fix them. Well, luckily you actually can do that now, and that is because if we go down here to the color grading tool, and beneath the color grading tool you have a brightness adjustment for shadows, midtones and highlights, and the one on the shadows and highlights actually works like a levels control. So if I drag this down and watch the histogram as I do it, you'll see it's now hitting the blacks. It's almost hitting the black point, and if I drag this up, you can see we're basically adjusting it after the tone curve. So will work almost like a levels adjustment after the tone curve. And this actually gives you a really interesting effect, that would be different than if you would just adjust the tone curve. And it's great to actually finally be able to do this directly within Lightroom. I know it's kind of a hack, but if you kind of use this kind of type of curve where the blacks and whites are raised and lowered, this is a very useful little trick to do to kind of adjust your image afterwards. Let me give you another example. So here's another image that I have applied one of the new presets to, and again we have the same situation here. If you look at the histogram, you can see it's clipped here and clipped here, but if we use the color grading tool, we can bring this down and bring this up, and we now get quite a different look from what we would have previously had. In fact, you can also adjust the midpoint by using the brightness on the mid slider, and you can then blend between these by adjusting the balance. So it's quite useful. These are quite useful controls in the color grading tool, even if you don't actually adjust the main color wheels. In this case they are adjusted because that was part of the preset, but even if you don't, these are quite useful controls to have. So as I said, that is a super nerdy tip. I hope you have found it useful still, and try it out in your own images and let me know how you get on. Okay, and thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.